What's up, you guys? Thank you for tuning in to an all-new episode of Point of View. Happy Tuesday, you guys.
Right.
How are we feeling?
Feeling good. It's been a good start to the week.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you guys pay rent?
Tuesday.
Did you guys pay your rent?
On time.
Yeah, on
no
time.
Late fees.
Okay.
Not till tomorrow or the 5th.
Oh no, baby. Some landlords don't even care. The
Right.
First.
Okay. Literally.
So they can get their grace period.
Exactly. But you guys, we have so many exciting topics to talk about today. But let's start off with this one topic that's a little controversial, okay? Starbucks has policies set in place that require their employees to address anyone by their preferred pronouns and names. A woman by the name of Taylor Trice shares her story after she was fired from Starbucks after not addressing her coworkers by their preferred pronouns. She claims that it goes against her faith to lie. Take a look at this clip.
Basically, we had to use everyone's preferred pronouns. Specifically, for transgender people. I just could not cross those lines. God made male and female, and basically I just could not lie about a man being a woman or a woman being a man. So I had talked to one of my coworkers and basically said, hey, I'm willing to call you by your name. I'm willing to avoid using the pronouns you don't want me to use. But it's against my faith to lie.
Girl, I know you done lied about some other stuff.
Okay.
This
Okay.
Yeah, so how do we feel about this?
It's so much to really unpack here.
There really is a lot to unpack.
Because like you said, I do feel like that's where you draw the line with your lies. Like, I really hate when people really try to use religion as some sort of weapon sometimes, or only when it's convenient for them.
Yeah.
That really, it really gets up under my skin, because I know that a sin, let's be so for real, a sin is a sin under any circumstance. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dang, this is what, your job. And then before you signed on to be a Starbucks employee, one of the top coffee companies ever. Did you not read that the application and the terms and conditions of this, application? Because if you did, you would have saw that was already in there and you agreed to it.
Right.
So why, when you're faced with that challenge now, it's all of a sudden, oh my God, my faith doesn't allow me to lie. What?
To go as far as to get fired, I
what?
think you should.
Now you out of a job and a check.
Yeah.
And that car look old.
Ooh. But what I'm confused about is, how did it actually come up? Because I get it that, Starbucks policy is that you have to respect and acknowledge someone's preferred pronouns. But if someone says that their name is Jessica, or they want to be called Jessica, and she's saying that she had no problem calling them the name that they wanted to be preferred, but just not the gender that they would prefer, I don't understand how, in the process of making a latte, does the gender come up? Is it something where maybe that person messed up on the order and you're saying, oh, he did it or she did it? Because I'm not understanding
That's kind of
why
what it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't know how the gender would come up anyways.
But she's saying she was willing to give a compromise. She could, instead of he or she said Jessica did it. Steve did it,
Right, so I don't even know why you should even be saying he or she at work.
Of he or she, or fired, because she was willing to give a compromise. They didn't want to accept that, and I think that's slightly unfair on her part, because she's saying, hey, I don't feel comfortable doing that because I don't want to either offend you, because I personally don't feel comfortable doing that. That's the reality of it for me, but I would have no problem addressing you by your name. Reason being, because sometimes if I'm looking at you and I see what I know, then I'm going to slip up and possibly
how do you know?
Say that.
If we're at Starbucks and everybody kind of has on the same uniform, right? And everybody has on their apron, and there is a trans woman there who identifies as a woman, and they come to work looking like a woman, how do you know what their genitals look like?
But this is a thing, though. Sometimes they don't look. They can come looking like a full woman that day, and then someday you woke up late and you don't have lashes, the hair, you can look like a man.
So you feel like it's subject to the day of how they present themselves that day?
I think that it is slightly unfair to force someone to, if they're giving you a compromise, hey, I don't feel comfortable doing that, but I will avoid it. I'll call you by your name.
But it wasn't up to them though. Like the understanding was that this is a job and this is a corporation and they have policies set in place already.
To
so
protect.
if you but everyone, they're inclusive of everyone. So they're accepting of the trans community.
Absolutely.
So there might just so happen to have been a trans woman or trans man working there and she's telling them, okay, granted, she is giving the compromise of I will call you by your name. That's not what the policy says, baby. The policy says pronouns. We're not talking about addressing someone by their name. You should address someone by their name out of respect.
Absolutely.
I think the issue, this is where I think the issue happened. I genuinely don't think the issue was her, saying, oh, I genuinely think if she addressed them by their name, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
I think she went as far as to say, I'm going to address you by your name because I'm a believer of this thing and I don't think this is right and this and that. You didn't have to add all that extra stuff.
Yeah.
All you had to do was just address them by their name.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's sometimes you just don't have to mention these extra things
Right.
that can affect people. Just address them by their names here
But
on
that's what
out
she's
and just
saying,
leave it
though.
at that. No, because she got fired because she had said it goes against her faith to lie. She said that. I know she said that at work at some point. I don't think they fired her because she called them by their name. I think they fired her because she said, I'm going to call you by your name because it goes against my faith to lie. Basically, you're you know what I mean? It's kind of like a backhanded,
I think it is important to respect the policy of the company that you work with. And I also feel like if you feel like you are at a point in your life where you're so strong in your faith now that you don't want to deviate at all away from what you believe, then you need to find a job or be an entrepreneur in a place that goes along with what you believe in, because it is not a secret that Starbucks is not a Christian company from my knowledge.
Right.
Even down to their logo and things that they represent. So if I I do believe in Jesus Christ, but if I were a gung-ho Christian, as she's saying that she can't lie and do anything that is sinful, I probably would not have went to work at that company.
Yeah, because at that point, it seems like you're just seeking a problem. You're
She
just
also worked at Chick-fil-A.
She should have stayed at Chick-fil-A because Chick-fil-A is literally known for being like,
a Christian company.
Yeah, a Christian-based company.
Conservative company.
Yeah, so do we think Starbucks is wrong for firing her?
No, get her gone
Starbucks
because they have a
get her
policy
gone.
set. They have a policy set in place. Like Tally said,
Yeah.
if you do not agree with what they have already set in place for however long they've decided to have those rules set in place, you don't have to work there.
Yeah.
That's a multi-billion-dollar company.
I
They don't
agree.
need you. You are replaceable.
I agree. And remember yesterday how we had mentioned, so you guys, if you want to catch up on yesterday's episode, we have recaps on
Go to YouTube.
But pretty much we talked about how Lizzo and her employees basically, there's like an alleged, lawsuit that's against her for creating a hostile work environment. And you had mentioned, Tally, why does the person have to pay, in funds, I think that some people, like her, maybe, I don't know.
Taylor.
Yeah, a Taylor. I think like she went to work for this company, and she went ahead and did all this, and like I don't understand why you're now facing the
For a moment?
repercussions. Yeah, and she's probably gonna go back and try to sue them for discrimination.
Probably.
I'm
I don't
sure
think she'll
Starbucks
win.
is covered though.
Yeah, she won't win.
She won't.
Yeah.
She can try. She's going to spend way more money than she's ever made at Starbucks to go against them.
But she can also argue it goes against the First Amendment. Some people really it's the same tactic you do when you go to
she went
Publix and you
against their
spill water on
policy,
the floor
though.
and you
It's
flip.
like those squatters, like people that go and they, and they'll move into a place because they know the law protects them. But I don't know that she's protected in this.
This is my assumption, by the way. This isn't a credible, thing.
No, she's going to lose if she tries that battle. She's going to lose because at the end of the day, the policy is the policy.
Exactly.
Like you made a choice, you signed this, you agreed to this, and now you're telling us like, oh, it goes against my faith.
Yeah.
You don't get to do that.
Well, granted, when you're going to a company and you're looking for a job and you're in need of a job, me personally, I'm not looking at that big old thick policy book.
And
That's terrible.
And
That's the
where
problem.
people get messed up.
Right, that's the problem.
If you run into problem, but people naturally, not everybody, and we're not gonna all sit here and say when we see the terms and conditions, we don't scroll all the way down and press accept.
No, we're not saying we don't do it, but it's still not right, and that leaves us susceptible to whatever repercussions happen after that.
Absolutely.
We also not out here like Taylor Trice.
I just think that's what happened.
Yeah.
I think She didn't read the terms and conditions. She went and worked for a job because she needed a job.
And now she's
she
stuck.
got caught
Yeah,
up.
she said she went there because they had tuition reimbursement or something
And that
like
is the main reason she
Now
went.
you out of reimbursement
Yeah.
because of your faith.
I just
Let
don't-
God handle
right,
it, baby.
right.
Let God take it.
Leave it to God. I just don't understand why, as a human, you wouldn't want to just make someone feel comfortable. Why do we, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying, like, just if you
Or
can do something
uncomfortable.
so little,
Yeah.
so
As
little
just
by
show
just
respect.
addressing them by what they prefer to be addressed
Exactly.
by.
Yeah.
Does that take so much out of you to just
Yeah.
do that?
But you know, job applications now, like the newer job applications, not like when we were actually applying for jobs.
Yeah.
Not you, Janaya. But when we were actually, applying for jobs, now there is a slot that says first, last name, and then it says preferred name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So everywhere is almost everywhere has applications like that now. So it's like it's inclusive everywhere. So why would you not be respectful of somebody's pronouns?
Yeah, I agree.
It's just rude.
Yeah, because I personally don't like using my last name, and I don't like and I would be really upset if I
don't use
went
my real
somewhere
legal
and they
name.
wanted to use my last name.
Yeah.
So if I am being presented by somebody who's like, hey, I want to be addressed by this, the same way I want you to respect me and call me by Miriam J rather than,
Right. Right.
I will do that for you.
Exactly.
So,
it's respect. It's
yeah.
respect.
It's respect, But, Taylor Trice was fired. Just don't
Bye,
work
girl.
for a company that doesn't align with your beliefs. That's just my opinion. But you guys, we do have to take a short break. We have so much more discussion after this. Don't go anywhere. You're watching POV. And if you're just now tuning in, you're watching POV. So, have your parents ever told you, do as I say, not as I do? A woman is currently facing charges after getting caught stealing $1,000 worth of merchandise from Sephora. The problem is her daughter was with her during the act of crime. She claims she needed the money for food, bills, and to support her family. Take a look at this clip.
And she took like probably 10 items and walked out with the basket.
I don't have nobody. This is why I did this, because I had to steal stuff to pay my bills. I don't have nobody. She don't even want to have my baby out there right now.
All right, pay a little bit. Hey.
Not the baby.
I love you. Give me a hug.
Squeeze her hard.
Ooh, that was so
Wow.
heartfelt. It was a little heartfelt.
That's really
but
sad.
I don't feel bad.
It could all be an act.
Yeah. I just don't feel bad because I just feel like as adults, we have to make decisions, right? And the little bit of backstory on her, she has been she did face some other criminal.
She's on probation.
Yeah, she's on probation, and she went and stole $1,000 worth of merchandise from Sephora. I understand, you were doing it to cover your bills and things like that, but
I don't understand.
yeah, it's no, I understand the intention, but I don't understand the act. That's really what it is, because
okay.
my thing is okay, I understand you're sad, you're losing your daughter, you're going to jail, but what did you expect? I'm just what did you expect?
Yeah.
To walk out of that store with they stuff.
Yeah, right.
What do you mean? What she expected?
Yeah, right.
She's shocked. Oh my God!
She thought she was small enough to slip right through that door. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
baby.
no.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I could see if she was stealing food formula for the child. You know what I'm saying? Or Pampers or something for the child. I could see that. Me, I would do that for my child. If my child was in need and I was struggling that bad and I needed formula for my child, I'm going to go get it. I'm not stealing makeup.
Right.
I'm not going to steal makeup. I'm going to go steal exactly what I need.
Right.
She don't even look like she wear makeup. I'm not stealing makeup.
How you know?
I'm going to get what my child needs.
She might beat her face on Monday. That was Saturday.
I am done.
You know what? That was Saturday during the day. She don't know what she would do.
I am done. She's going to jail. She's going to have to make her own makeup now.
No.
It's so bad though, because I think that a lot of stores seem to have leniency sometimes when people do tend to steal formula or diapers and stuff like that, even though I kind of get it, because I feel like she definitely probably was stealing that stuff to take care of her child. And this goes back to one of my favorite reggae songs by this artist, Tanya Stevens, and it says, providing no jobs and telling us stop the crime is like beating a child and telling them not to cry. And I feel like that's what's going on in society. Most of these people are, from poverty situations, and they don't have much education. They don't have, a lot of job opportunity. It's not like before. I remember when I was younger, people didn't have to have certain qualifications to get a decent job. And even now, if you can maybe get a job doing telecommunications or something at home, it cannot survive. You can't live off of that.
And it's you need 17 years of experience.
Exactly.
I feel
These
you
people
on that.
can't survive off of that money in this economy, and the government knows exactly what they're doing. I remember a year or two ago when they were talking about that they wanted to eliminate the middle class. That is what they've done, and in that it's created a deficit, and people do not have enough to survive. So now the situations like this, which is the plan, and is perpetuating more crime and more poverty and more children in motherless homes. And yes, it is her fault because she's making that decision, but I understand how that happens. I wouldn't steal.
She looks well enough to go get a job, though. She looks well enough to go.
Where's she gonna work at?
She looked like one of those girls that work down at the Family Dollar.
How much she gonna make?
I don't know. Enough to get food for her child.
Where is she gonna be able to afford with working at Family Dollar?
Food.
To live where? Under the bridge?
I don't know. With her parents.
She said she was
with her
working for
family.
food and bills.
$1,000 worth of makeup is gonna pay all of her bills.
She was gonna steal somewhere else after that.
No.
And
then the cycle continues. It just gets worse and worse and worse because next time it might be $1,500.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now she's really facing criminal charges with already being on probation.
Yeah.
Where's your family?
I
Where's your
don't condone,
support?
But I understand how
the
it
intentions
happened.
behind
Yes,
it.
I understand.
Yeah,
That's so
and
sad.
the saying, do as I say, not as I do. She's kind of also this is a bad example you're setting. Your daughter was right with you.
Yeah.
And no, she put her daughter, I'm so sorry. She put her daughter in kind of a little bit of not harm's way, but I would say in she's gonna be a little traumatized because now she's getting taken away. She's being put into a foster care system until somebody comes and picks her up.
DCF is gonna pick that baby up.
Exactly.
DCF is already in proceedings with her and that baby.
Exactly.
Right.
But we also don't know when people are faced with the hard truth and the reality of things. We don't know if DCF, that was the truth. She would say any and everything just to get out
of it. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, maybe if I pull on their heartstrings a little bit because they literally see
cry,
my child outside
Yeah.
and I cry a little bit that they're gonna let me go. No. you have to go through your proceedings. It don't matter how hard you pull on them cops' heartstrings. If you have a warrant or you're being arrested, you have to go through.
Exactly.
You have to, and
exactly.
unfortunately, this is the world we live in, baby girl. You are a black woman.
Exactly.
Okay, you are
already
not
at a
gonna be.
deficit.
You already have a systemic thing going against you,
Right.
and you're gonna go as far as to do this crime, and then you wonder why you're getting arrested and your child is getting taken away from you. But I understand like everything going on in society, and the pay gap and these things, and people like are being faced with these tough decisions that they have to make for their families. I get that.
This was a dumb choice.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
this is just a dumb
I'm
choice.
sorry.
There's other ways. There's resources. Go to a church and get what you can in the meantime. Get a job. Some people do this stuff out of laziness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people do it out of habit too. They're kleptos.
Yeah.
Kleptomaniacs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She might be a
That's
kleptomaniac.
sad.
Who knows? I mean,
I
I'm
hope
assuming.
she's not.
And that's sad, and then she should get her daughter taken away from her.
Well,
if
what
it's
about
not-
all of
have
these-
no
what about all
self-control.
these rich white
Exactly.
celebrities that are that shoplift for a living and they're rich?
They have the means to get themselves out of situations, though.
That's
She does
right.
not.
She don't.
Yeah,
so
she
don't
don't.
put yourself.
It's not
in a
right, but they
situation
do.
you
It's
got
not
to-
right. I am not agreeing to it at all. But those people have, certain power and certain leniency against them because they can, if they get in trouble, they can pay a lawyer to pay a judge to get them off.
That's true.
She can't pay nobody off.
Yeah.
She can't. She probably got to use a public defender.
She was already on probation.
Yeah.
Do we have to keep reminding the people she was already on probation? She was already in trouble.
Yeah.
And then to go and do something else makes it seem like you're a habitual offender.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
is.
You
It
just
is
keep
foolish.
going.
I understand, but it's foolish.
And I'm sorry, you out there stealing, and you on your mind, you have a DCF meeting, and you take your daughter to go
And
and
2 days,
steal?
2 days later, she had one.
It's
2 days later.
insane.
That
No.
Monday, she
that
had a meeting.
baby needs
Not
to
2
go
business days.
to
Yeah.
someone who loves and cares about her future.
Yeah.
And that mom needs
She's
to go to-
reckless. She's too
reckless.
She's
Yeah.
too reckless, and she takes too much of a risk with the child being
Yeah.
present.
And I mean, she also did look super young. This is also not me excusing her because she's
Yeah.
still very much so an adult.
Yeah.
She's still young. So hopefully, she learns something and she maybe could get her. Because I also don't agree with just ripping a child from someone's hands and then that's that. Because we all make mistakes.
But with good
And
reason. This was
yeah,
a
with
choice.
good reason for sure. But we all make mistakes and we learn from them. And I feel like if we are crucified for just a couple of the mistakes we've made when we were younger,
But maybe had they not put her on probation and they actually gave her whatever she deserved the first time around, maybe she wouldn't even be in this situation getting her daughter taken away.
But she probably got what she did deserve the first time. She probably is a
Just didn't
habitual
learn.
offender, yeah. But she probably, has a real problem, and maybe she can't stop stealing, or maybe she won't make a decision to really elevate her life and be able to help her child. So hopefully she can get some help, through this situation. The same way that the lady we spoke of earlier is clearly trying to get help from social media and the heartstrings of people for getting fired from Starbucks. Maybe someone would help this lady to have money for rent and food for her child.
yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
You can go right on that computer in the library.
Fill out a job
and make
application.
a GoFundMe
No,
or
no.
even.
Fill out a job application.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And make sure you
But-
read the policies.
And
But-
get $11 an hour where she won't be able to afford rent and food
Exactly.
together, but maybe it can work out.
Listen.
And then where's her child gonna go? Because she has nobody. So now you have to think about childcare. So
I mean, you have as an adult, you have to
She
make
made
these
these choices,
decisions.
right?
You
She made
have
a choice to lay down and have a baby. Wherever the baby's daddy is at, she needs to reach out for help from the baby daddy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Reach out for help from your family, from your church, whoever. There are resources. It's like Miriam said, out of laziness, people don't utilize the resources that are right in front of them.
Yeah, and whether she laid down with someone or didn't, because there's multiple ways to have kids.
Right.
You have to make that choice. If you are looking at your life and you're like, dang, I can't afford to feed this child.
Yes.
You might have to look into adoption and give that child a better life.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Oh, this is such a I know it's a tough decision to
getting
make,
goosebumps.
but sometimes you can hurt your child more just trying to just make it work than you would if you just let it go. And
Oh,
and
no, my
I know
God, I
I know
can't
it's a
imagine
tough
that.
decision to make,
Woo.
but if your child is literally starving, their stomach is grumbling and they can't even get the necessary nutrients that they need, to even just survive.
But
you
you
have to
know,
make that decision.
Chick-fil-A gives away food at the end of the day. So when I understand.
She didn't know that.
There was a time where I could have understood what you're saying, Miriam.
Yeah.
But after having my child and that kind of love and desire and want you have for your child, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna make it happen.
It's
and then
gonna be better tomorrow.
It's gonna be better tomorrow. You can't make that decision. It's very
But you know what decision you made? Your daughter made you work so hard.
Yeah.
And you were like, her life is gonna be set. I don't see that hunger in her. She's like, I'm just gonna do it the easy way.
She looking for handouts or looking
Yeah.
to take something.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I know this is like one of those like opinions that's like,
I hate it for her, honestly, but at the end of the day, you know, the choices that we make always come with consequences.
they do.
They always come with consequences,
Yeah, but
whether good or bad.
Yeah, and it comes from, sometimes poor friendships too, because this is the time that we're living now. Everybody wants to brunch and do all these other things, but baby, if you see your friend's child is hungry, help your friend get some food for her child so your friend doesn't have to go to stealing now that she's not with the
Yeah,
child.
because a homegirl was right next to her and didn't even flinch.
Yeah. Well, you guys, we are running out of time. Oh, such tough discussions. But catch us back here, same time, same place tomorrow.